Hello, guys. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we're ready to start our second class, and thank you guys for joining in on time. Please, somebody help me share the Georgina. Help me share the live YouTube link on our group so that everybody can join and inform everybody that we've started. Um, Thank you very much. We are going to start our second class. And based on the morning class, we were learning how to pitch. And as even we were learning how to pitch, it's very important to learn about how to communicate, how to brand ourselves, because we are getting ourselves pitch ready. And part of the things you have to do when you're pitching is actually being able to communicate clearly what you need to say. And as we started by saying earlier, film is a business just like any other business. And that means that film being a business, it's you need to communicate to people as if you're in business. If you don't communicate to people as if you're in business, then you're going to be out of business because people need to know that they can trust you. They can trust the word that you're saying, that you're speaking to them as a business entity or a business consultant in film. People will feel more comfortable to work with you if you work with them as a business and as a consultant, and that you're packaged properly. And that's why the topic of today is written communication skills, branding, and PR. This is under our last module, which is usually life skills, where we acknowledge as YFP Africa that uh, there's a need for you to have some life skills that you can use in presenting your business and in actually making sure that people can understand even the pitch that you're doing. So this is a skill that you'll use complementary to pitching and to your creative package, and that's why we've put all of them together. So, what is communication? And I've just started by saying is, the way you speak to your audience. It's communication is talking or speaking to a particular person, and the kind of person you'll be talking to. Again, we'll go back to the elevator pitching class, which is could be your friend, could be an investor, could be somebody who can give you a grant. So, how do you communicate to them? I always say that communication is clear when people know each other. It's like when you just meet a girlfriend or a boyfriend and you want to start dating, you'll start first by knowing each other. That means you start first by creating an opportunity for you two people to meet and communicate and know each other. And so whenever you walk into like a pitching meeting, the first thing you'll do is have to introduce yourself and communicate. And as you communicate, there are various things that people need to know about you that are very, very important. Now, I'm starting from this slide where I'm talking about campaign design and creation. Every time you start selling a product, what you're doing is you have a campaign. You've started a campaign to sell a product. Communication begins with identifying what you're communicating about. And when you start to identify what you're communicating about, there are a couple of things that you need to have at the back of your mind, especially when it's a campaign that you're doing, because this is going to determine how much you can be able to actually go, how far you can be able to reach people with your vision and your mission and everything, even before you start pitching. As we talked in the morning, you need to have a good business plan. That's one part of your communication, but you need to also communicate about your product in the right way. That means talk about the product that you're giving people in the right way. Now, a campaign is the tool you use to actually be able to give your product to people. So you need to design a campaign of how am I going to be speaking about this product now that I've decided that I want to sell it. And you might find yourself having to communicate to a lot of people in your journey in filmmaking. I'm going to be giving you more lessons on this, but today I want to focus on a few areas. First of all, when you come up with the product and you want to talk about it, as I've said, you need to talk about it as a business person or as a consultant. So, to be able to speak about your product, the first thing is you need to design a campaign so that even when you're presenting your business plan, you're good to go. You know that this is how I'll be selling this product. You've already done your research and development. You know so much about your product. You cannot communicate about what you know nothing about. You have to communicate about something that you know everything about. So you need to, and understand also that nowadays, a long time ago, for us to communicate about what we were doing, we needed to use other platforms. But now you can even use social media to actually communicate your messages, websites, and all these things, so that you're set up, so that when somebody is actually listening to your presentation, they can see some background that you have done on your product. So a campaign is a very good tool for you to be able to start understanding what you're selling. And when you're creating a campaign, it is to to promote your products. Like for instance, they say that every movie has a website. So when you want to know about a particular movie, who's working on the movie, and all those things, one of the best platforms to use is a website where you can be able to bring together all these other things that are needed. So as you're planning to start a project and to start selling this project, you might meet people who want more information about your project. Instead of having to share so many things about your project, it becomes easier for you to be able to actually design a campaign of how you're going to speak about your project. So these campaign tools could include the imagery you create, that is illustrations, photographs, images, and video. Like right now, we've started a campaign on Wong's film since we were shooting the teaser trailer. And so even when somebody Googles and wants to know more about us and what we are doing, if they go to the YFP Africa website or they go somewhere else, they're able to see some of the work that we are doing using imagery and all these other tools that can be used. So those are tools that you can create. The good thing with today's world is to create these things can cost you zero budget. If you learn to use applications such as Canva, which is a free mobile application which you can use to create your posters, you can use to edit your imagery to look good, and you're able to communicate about your brand. You can also use the same Canva Pro to create your logo so that people start identifying with the brand of what you're selling. Again, it's as I said earlier, when you go to talk to someone, first they want to know who are you, and so you need to show them who you are, or give them a link where they can find out more about who you are. Again, we've also said that it's possible for you to go and pitch, and people will just want to do some business intelligence, sort of Google your name and Google other things to see who you are. So the things you post on your social media and everywhere else become very important, because those are the things that people will use to judge you and to judge whether you're capable of doing a business with them. The next thing that also can be used in campaign is advertisements, where you come up with small advertisements of your product to be able to show it to people. This happens in filmmaking normally at the end stage, because you don't want to be showing this in the beginning. But again, you need to be aware that you'll need to communicate and you'll need to do these campaigns at different stages of filmmaking. The other thing is the message. You need to know what message are you trying to tell people with your product, whatever product you're doing. So those are very, very important. So when you're creating a good social media campaign for your project, you need to know things like understanding the goal of your campaign. meaning like I just let me give you a very flattering thing. Sometime back when we were trying to find funding for our movie Wounds, which was written by the students of the year 2020 2021, one of the things we did is we created a campaign on GoFundMe where we allowed outsiders to actually come through and to fund this project. We created that link and forgot about it. But recently, there's somebody who went and donated $10. Another person donated $6, and people have actually started donating to the campaign when we forgot about it. So right now it's like they knew we had some expenses that we were having. Maybe these people could have Googled to see how far we've gone with this, and they have started donating. So that link will help us to have subsidiary income that we need to do some few things for the film, even as we continue with it. So again, you need to know the goal of your campaign. You need to decide how to promote the campaign on different channels. Instagram is different from Facebook and all that. You need to create a content calendar that will allow you to be actually able to know, what am I posting this week? What am I posting next week? So with the content that you already have about your movie, those are things that could help you in communicating. And then you need to create supporting and relevant visual content for the campaign. So you need to have some content that you can use. Initially, it was very hard for us to communicate for our movie once because we had nothing. But when we shot the teaser trailer, then we had some images and other things to promote. Now we are able to confirm that actually Greg will be a part of our movie, and he has come and he has acted in the movie. So we are able to use his name to actually convince someone, we are actually have him on board. It's not a matter of contracts and everything. Then also you need to schedule the posts so that you're posting at particular times and you know that you're getting everything. Georgina and Sunday can see you on YouTube. Thank you for following up. And then you need to monitor and respond to questions that people ask about your campaign, and then follow up or after the event promotion, if the event is if the campaign is based on an event, or just follow up with what feedback you're getting from there. For instance, you could do a post and say, what do you guys think about this trailer? And would you like to watch such a movie? And that would be then become like your baseline survey, which you'd use in writing the first 3 pages of your PowerPoint presentation in the business plan, where you'd say, we put a small clip and ask people whether they would like to watch this kind of a movie, and 70% said they would like, 20% said it sounds new, 10% said they would not watch. So we see that we have a market. Again, you need to explain which market watched, and social media gives you the perfect platform because they give you insights, and the insights you get on social media are really good because they're able to tell you how many males, females, how many people were interested in your content from different territories, and those are facts. You can take those graphs and actually pin them to your PowerPoint presentation. Then you need to analyze and adjust on anything that has not worked. So you'll be getting feedback, and you can use social media as a place to do your campaign. So the reason why I started with that slide is to show you the big picture. But now we are going to come back to the main topic of the day today. So that's the big picture of what you'll be communicating later. So that shows the need for you to communicate. And that shows the things that you require to be able to communicate. Remember, you're communicating as a business. So part of communication skills that you really need as a filmmaker is branding. I don't know how many of you here are using their artistic names, or you just use your personal name. It depends. Most actors, musicians will be using their artistic name. That is branding. How do you want people to see you? So it is the process where a business makes itself known to the public, differentiates itself from a competitor, and it's how your customers recognize and experience your business. So you need to package yourself in a way that people can now say, this is how we actually relate with you. So this will be very, very important. Let me just a minute. So the definition of branding, we have some various steps that you need to take when you're branding yourself. So what the process of building your brand is called brand building. And this is to decide, when you decide, I'm going to, this is the way I want people to see me. You're conscious about how you want people to see you. And I would like to ask you guys a question, yeah? If two people came to your church, for example, to tell you to vote for constitutional changes, one is a poor person who doesn't have a brand and who you barely know what they do. So they come and start telling you, vote no for the constitutional changes. And then the other person is a person who's a lawyer, who's branded themselves, who has proved that they can research and they can do this. Between the two people, who will you choose? Kio, who will you listen to when they're advising you matters constitution? Is it the lawyer or just the
or just
normal?
the normal
Of course, you go for somebody who is well known in that
a
area.
You go for
lawyer,
somebody who's well known. Okay, Kachomba, yeah, you go for somebody who's well known, who has actually deliberately built their brand. So you find that even for people to listen to you, whether you're pitching or anything, you need to start investing in building your brand now. Because if you're planning to pitch, like let's say in 3 months' time, like now you have a pitching to do in a month's time, you'll find somebody will be picked just because they're eloquent and they were able to present their production in the right way and they look serious. So they will be picked, and someone else will not be picked just because of that. So, generating awareness about your business or about your consultancy. Consultancy is when it's one person. Like Rachel Wainaina is a consultant. I was telling someone yesterday that I get many jobs as a consultant more than I get with my business brands, because what I've done over the years is I've built a very strong brand of the name Rachel Wainaina. When, like, I am sure most of you, as much as you believe in the brand that is YFP, you also believe in the brand that is Rachel Wainaina. Is that correct? Is that
Sure,
correct?
sure, madam. Sure, sure.
So if you're in YFP Africa and there is no Rachel Wainaina, there would be a gap, right? It would
to
change
change
the way
A,
the
your
way
a
your
very
your
big gap.
exactly. So it's because I've spent many years trying to build that brand, and that by me being in YFP Africa with my brand, I'm adding value to the YFP Africa brand. Okay, I'm able to be productive, and that's why when people are paying me, they are going to pay me more, whether I'm working as a consultant or something, because they know I have my own brand is going to bring value to their own brand and to the work they're doing. It's going to bring credibility to the work that they're doing. And that's how I end up now doing jobs for US Embassy Nairobi, for UK Aid, and for other organizations, because they see me as a brand first. Not a brand, many other brands will not want to associate with you because what value are you bringing in the workplace? So you've got to start building your brand. And that's how, why you're in this class, you're starting to make movies. So part of the way you build your brand in film industry is by acquiring more title credits and saying and speaking about it. So for instance, I've seen the students who participated in the making of wounds, for example, Sunday and Georgina, you participated directly in the making of Wounds trailer and the other things. But what have you done to brand yourself with that experience? Because you could be knowing that I participated, but people don't know. So people will not give you respect for what they don't know. You have to be deliberate at wanting to communicate that you were there, that you added value to your CV, that you're continuing to experience, that you worked with international cast and crew, and that will add value to your brand. So the big question is, how are you branding yourself? How are you positioning yourself? Do people even know what you do? even in your Facebook, in your Instagram? Do people even know who you are, what value you have, what your expertise are, what you shine at? So that is all part of your branding. And that will determine how people will deal with you even when you're pitching. Because if you are nobody, you've done nothing, then people will not listen to you. So that's why you need to keep building your portfolio, and you also need to keep building your brand and speaking about it. When you go to my Facebook page, you can be 500% sure that I'm a filmmaker. Or is there anyone, maybe Kachomba, I know you visited my Facebook page. Does my Facebook page brand me? Does it show my
Does it show my
experience?
experience?
What is
What is
Your Facebook page shows who you are and what you do. That's what it shows.
exactly?
exactly?
Exactly. So I
Exactly.
don't just go posting politics and other things. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at branding, because branding is a continuous process. So the big question is, how are you going to brand yourself? And it's very important. So you must understand the steps you have to go through to have a better brand development strategy in the process of brand building. Again, just to repeat very quickly, that branding is a deliberate process. You have to know that it's deliberate. You have to decide to brand yourself. And then you have to look at the opportunities which you can brand yourself using what you have. Right now, I know we have actually many opportunities, like we have social media, we have so many opportunities that we can use to brand ourselves. So that's a very important thing. So what are the steps you take when you're branding yourself, which is very, very important? Consider your overall business strategy, which is what we were discussing in the morning. What is your business strategy, and how do you want people to know you? In your overall business strategy, how do you want to communicate? You must identify, so that now you can be able to go into details. And I'm going to give you an exercise which is going to show you that. You need to identify your target clients, which is something we again covered in the morning, where you identified, these are my clients, these are the people I'm trying to reach out to, and these are the people I'm actually communicating to. So this is how I will communicate to them. Again, communication is a deliberate thing. You have to know. Right now, I'm talking to my students. So when I'm talking to you, I'll not talk to you the way I talk to a CEO. I'll not talk to you the way I talk to my friends. I'll talk to you as my students right now in class. How can I talk to you so that I get to make sure that you get what you need? The other thing is, you need to research about your target client group, and then you need to develop your brand positioning. So your brand positioning is what we were covering in the morning, where you need to know, this is where my brand fits in this market and in this market segmentation. So once you know, then you'll be able to develop a messaging strategy. What I'm trying to say here is that you can't be talking to your different clients the way you talk to the embassy, who are very civic leadership minded, is not the way you can talk to your colleague in the film industry. And it's not the same way you should talk to, another student or your teacher. So depending on who you're talking to, you'll develop a messaging strategy to get your communication to that person. Then you need to have a name, a logo, and a tagline. Who are you? And that's why I said in the beginning, when you go to pitch, it's very important to know that you can't go and pitch and tell someone, I'm a student. Yes, it can be part of the description of who you are, but when you're going to pitch and you need money, then once you tell someone, I'm a student, they write you off. What you need to tell them is, I'm the founder of this and this, or I'm an independent consultant, I'm a producer, blah, blah, blah. My name is so and so. Work with the brand name. Remember, you must not work with your name. Sometimes you can want to have a brand name. For my case, I chose to use Rachel Wainaina as my brand. So I've been building Rachel Wainaina as my brand for over 17 years. So people have gotten to know the name Rachel Wainaina across Africa. because from the beginning I already knew my market is in Africa. It's not in Kenya. So not only now am I known in Kenya, but Koagile knows me and he's from Botswana, and Kachomba knows me and he's from Zambia, and many other people know me from Namibia, from other places. So my brand is now going to Africa, and it was part of the strategy. So I'm known in Kenya by Georgina and Sunday, and then I'm also known in other countries. So that is how I positioned my brand. And I've been making steps, deliberate steps, to have my brand known as such. So you have to develop a name. Like for me, I have like 4 brands I'm working with currently. So I have the Rachel Wainaina, me as a brand. It's one of my ways of revenue generation. So I have Rachel Wainaina as a brand. Then also I have Youth Film Platform Africa as a separate brand with its name, logo, and tagline. And then I also have Film Village of Kenya with its name and tagline, and the new company that we just formed. So I have 4 different brands I'm managing, and all of them are doing totally different things. One of the brands, which is Rachel, you'd ask yourself, what does Rachel do? First of all, Rachel is a freelance film producer. Okay. And secondly, Rachel is also a teacher, a trainer. So that's a business revenue generation for me. What is another positioning of brand Rachel? Rachel is a curriculum developer. I get a lot of businesses to just develop curriculum for people. And thirdly, and fourthly, the other contracts that people normally give me is as a consultant, especially in entrepreneurship and all those things. So people will give me all these contracts, and it's because I've positioned myself like that. Earlier on, I had positioned myself as a director, producer, trainer, so I could even get directing jobs as well. Currently, I don't want to position myself in the creative space because I feel like I'm leaning more towards the business side. Again, branding is a very deliberate thing that you do for yourself. It's not something that you just assume. It's very deliberate. You just decide, how do you want people to see you. Now, having a logo is very important. I have a logo for Rachel Wainaina. So like yesterday, I just finished doing a very big quotation. And on top of it, actually, I've done 2 quotations this week. On top of that, there was my logo as Rachel Wainaina. As Youth Film Platform, how do we position ourselves? We are actually a non-profit organization, and we position ourselves. The name is Youth Film Platform Africa. We just changed our brand. By the way, I don't know whether you guys noticed. We changed our brand in 2020 when COVID hit home. We were Youth Film Platform for until 2020. In 2020, we became Youth Film Platform Africa. And when we became Youth Film Platform Africa, we started communicating to Africa. Even when we do posts on our social media page, now we say Jumbo Africa, Hi Africa. We don't speak to Kenya because that's how our branding has grown. And so when you change your brand, everything has to change. So our motto, which you see everywhere, we don't teach our students how to make a film. Our students make films, is something that we changed as well. Initially, we were just saying Youth Film Platform, empowering the youth with practical and professional skills in multimedia for income generation and social self-expression. So we realized that was more of a mission than the tagline. We wanted a catchy tagline. So we sat down and thought, okay, let's say what defines Youth Film Platform Africa, which is a training institution. And we said, let's go for the tagline. We don't teach our students how to make films. Our students make films. So it's attractive because somebody who's looking for exactly that will immediately want to start asking questions to you based on that brand. The other thing is, you need to develop your marketing strategy, which is something we are going to be covering next Saturday as we continue from where we left this morning in research and development. So you need to have your marketing strategy. You need to know, what am I marketing? When I'm doing a post and about my brand, what am I getting out of it? So you won't just post anything. you'll develop a marketing strategy to actually help you get to see where are you going, what message do you want to push. Yeah, just recently, I think a day before Femi left, we had this client we were doing a job for with our new company. By then, we already got our first client in the company we just started. And so as we were actually starting that company, and we went to do this job for this client, we had a meeting with the client, and the client told us, okay, my main goal in this video is for you to show my capacity, my machines, to show that I actually have machines that can do this in Kenya, because there are no other companies that have that. So that's somebody who's aware of what they're marketing. So once you understand that, it's very easy for you to push your brand and for you to communicate to your desired audience and start building a market portfolio. So again, as I said, the other thing that is very important is for you to be actually able to also have your website. Your website is the tool, is the first tool where people would want to know more about you. So where do you put all these things you develop in your brand? Obviously, it's on your website. So you should always have a budget when you start thinking about branding. You should always think of the first thing being your website, where you can actually update each and everything that you're doing on that website. So that's very, very important. So again, you need to build your marketing toolkit, which means, I don't know whether you guys know what a marketing toolkit is. Do you have a catalog, a brochure, or something just to show people about the product that you're selling? So that will be very important for you. So do you have that for you? Because that will really help you in positioning your brand. Then you need to implement your branding procedure, your marketing procedure, track, get feedback, and keep adjusting your brand so that you can be able to communicate properly with your target market. I hope we are clear. Can you guys still hear me? Everybody is so quiet. Are we okay?
Yes, madam.
So
Yes.
I hope yeah. So I hope we are really clear. I hope we are really clear about the very significant importance of building a brand. And it's not tomorrow. You have to start building your brand now, because they say people perish because of lack of knowledge. Nobody will work with just anyone who does not have an identity. Your brand is your identity. Every time you speak, it identifies who you are. You should be able to sort of have strategic communication. Some people even pay to have a communication manager or a publicist to speak more, to advise them how to speak, to write their speeches, because they take their brand seriously. Remember, I don't know whether you know this, but your brand determines your price. Okay? Whether it's for you as an individual consultant, or whether it's you as a business, your brand determines how much you can charge. So the earlier you start building it, the more your brand will be rich. So the more you volunteer for many organizations and work in the right projects and have all these build up, the more you'll be successful in the industry, because people will trust you because you've created a trustworthy brand. So these brands can be destroyed very easily. And that's why we are going to be going deeper, even looking at public relations as well, how to fix your image, to fix the image of your organization in the eyes of the public, especially when your image is dented by anyone. Again, sustaining a brand is not easy because it requires you to make a lot of sacrifice as you're sustaining your brand. So defining your brand is like a journey. It takes time. It's a process. It is so difficult to really identify how do I want people to see me, hear me? How do I want that to happen? How can I define that? It can be quite uncomfortable, especially if you're an introvert. and you are afraid of talking to people, and now you're thinking, how am I going to communicate? There's so many channels of communication. People are even using podcasts and other things to communicate. You have to find something that is more comfortable for you as you start building this brand. So, when you're building your brand, you need to ask yourself a few things. And this is very important. What is your company or your personal vision and mission? What do you want to achieve? So, you should be able to communicate these things to other people. But before you communicate to them, you should be able to communicate this to you. And since I was using my company in the morning that we formed, I'm going to continue using some examples of my companies that I've created already, because I've created different brands. For instance, in one of my companies, the brand in one of my brands that I'm managing, as I said, I'm managing 4 brands. One of my vision is to become Africa's leading film service company, facilitating and propelling production of quality and original African stories. That's my vision. So when I'm talking to someone about my company, I'll quickly be able to say that. And the other thing is, that's the vision, but the vision is not the complete thing, and it needs to be backed up by how are you going to achieve this, and that is usually what we refer to as the mission. So how are we going to achieve the mission? One, by leveraging, I'm just giving you an example, I'm just trying to tell you guys. So one, by leveraging our networks, and our network service to independent filmmakers and SMEs. So that's how we are going to do that, our mission. And we're going to give all our products and services at a lower cost by offering alternative high quality equipment and facilities to help independent filmmakers achieve their vision. That's another one. Work with SMEs, local and international nonprofit organizations to help create commercial advocacy related content at a very subsidized price. Again, we are sticking to our target market as we are saying this mission. Also offering a wide database of African cast and crew available to work in the productions. Also creates a working relationship with local governments and authorities to make sure that whoever we are working with has complied with the law, and also create a conducive working relationship, with those governments. And that's how we are going to do our thing. Who are we? Are we an NGO and all that? No, we are not an NGO. In this particular brand that I'm talking about, we are a limited company, right? In Kenya, our name is so and so. Let me just use any name, like Sign Invest or something. We are a business, and so you're going to, when you look at our brand, you're going to see that our brand, from the title, our name, our mission, our core values are stated. So that really means we know who we are, you get. And then what do we do? And what I always tell people, when you're creating your brand, be able to answer the questions beginning with 5 W's and 1 H, because that's what people want to know about you. So who are you? We are a limited company based in 9 African countries, offering film services at the lowest cost and targeting SMEs. Okay, what do we do? We are here to offer the film services. What's your scope? Our scope is 7 African countries. What's your vision? I've already told you our vision. Where are we based? In these 7 African countries. So ask yourself those questions. Why are we doing this? To promote SMEs, to afford the small businesses an opportunity to get high quality content. All these are reasons as to why you're doing this business. So they're really helping you to do your business. How are you going to do? And that's what I said is the mission. And I already explained, we are going to leverage our networks to give low prices, all these things. So you should be able to really identify with your brand. As Rachel Wainaina, as a brand right now, I've realized My brand performs strongly for me, especially in the academic sector. People really have a respect for Rachel as a brand, as a teacher. And I've spent from 2007 to now, I've been actually teaching. That is 15 years. So I understand why my brand is strong. Also, my brand is strong in teaching because also of YFP Africa, which has produced the best students over time. Also because I've been involved in creating curriculum for some of the biggest institutions, which are across Africa, like Kenya School of Government is in 6 African countries. I created for them a curriculum. I created a curriculum for ACWIT, which is also an international NGO in several African countries. I created a curriculum for Finland, FCA Church, and such things. So I even did a TOT. So when you do this, things, they're building your brand. So I realized like this year, the most money I've earned from my brand as Rachel Wainaina has been in curriculum development, teaching opportunities, speaking at events, because I have a very good portfolio of speaking at events. And that's how I've earned my money. Somebody else, like an influencer, would be earning more of their money from Instagram and YouTube. So it depends with your brand. What's your brand? And that's very important. So you require to be able to answer those questions. What is your company's mission, vision? What's the name of your company? What's the nature of your company? Just by mentioning the nature of your company, it could write you off from working with some people. For instance, US Embassy can work with a consultant, they can work with non-profit, but they can't work with for-profit businesses. You get my point. So again, you need to know this before you go to pitch. What's the nature of your brand? If you don't know yourself, who is willing to listen to you anyway? Nobody will listen to you. So you need to know who you are as a brand. And I know most of you guys will start off as freelance. You need to write that in your books. Most of you will start off as freelance. That's where we all started. Nobody will rush from school to go and start a business. So you guys are going to start mostly as freelance. And when you do start as freelance, it's okay. But you have to have a brand. You have to have a logo. You have to have an identity. You have to have a name. You have to have a nature. And you have to have something that you're carrying with you as that brand. If you're an assistant director, for example, let me just use an example of Sunday and Georgina. You guys have profiles. For instance, Sunday, you just got a profile as an assistant director. So you can add that to your brand. Also, you've been doing a lot of feminist campaign. You can add that to your brand as Sunday. So you're building your profile as Nancy-Ann, as Kachomba. You're building as Koagile, as Mutheki, as Nachoka. You're building your brand. You have to have a logo. You have to have a color that when people see this color and they see you, they know this represents you because you're an artist. Every artist is different, and branding is very important for us, especially because the work we do is for the public. We are in mass communication, so we are speaking to the public, and the work we do needs us to be deliberate in branding ourselves. So we need to know that what you need to be able to answer: what are the benefits and features of your products or services that you offer as a brand? Like for instance, which is the most popular brand in the world? It's Coca-Cola, right? There's nobody who doesn't know the word Coca-Cola. But Coca-Cola as a company has different brands of products. They have mineral water, the Dasani. They have different things. They have Fanta, they have Crest, they have Coke. They have different products that they make in that company. So what features your products and services as a brand? You need to be able to say that I'm a film producer, I offer freelance services in producing. I'm a film service producer. I do 1, 2, 3. You have to be able to communicate about the services or the products that you're offering. And also, if you have products like I also rent cameras at cheap prices, I have lights, I have an editing suit. You need to be able to actually be able to articulate issues on what you have to offer in your brand, within your brand. For me, my mine is usually more services. I train, I have this and that. I speak, I do motivational speaking, and I write. I do production design. I produce for people's films, and I also design curriculums and academic things. And in that, I also have sub services that I offer. So remember, these are the things that are going to bring money to you. And remember, again, nobody is an angel to know what you're doing. So you need to deliberately communicate to people, this is what I do. Can I ask you a question? And I'm going to start with you, Kachomba. Do your family members know what you do?
Yes, they do.
And your friends?
And your friends?
They do.
Your social media
Your social media
audience?
audience?
They do.
Okay, but the way you've
Okay,
said
but the way
that,
you
I
said
think you need
that,
to
I
improve
think
on
you need
that.
to improve on that.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
you find
so
that.
you find
Nancian,
that. Nancian,
tell
uh,
me, do your family and all these audiences I've mentioned know what you do? For instance, do they know that right now you're doing film? That you can actually give them services? Nancian? Okay, it seems Nancian can't speak now. Mutheki,
yes,
do your family know what you're doing right now?
yeah,
Like most of your family members and friends?
yes, they do.
Do they know that you already crewed for a film? You have acted in Wounds, and that you have also done production design?
Yeah,
That is family. And friends?
no,
Social media?
no,
Okay, so you need to improve on that, because that's how people will give you jobs, because that's an experience that you've just gotten. You get? So once you start posting a few things to do with what you're doing, people are going to start actually approaching you to work with them. You get my point? Nachoka, how have you positioned yourself brand wise?
Yeah, with me, family members and friends do know, but social media, not yet. I'm still actually planning on how to make it official.
Okay. Okay. So you need to start making it official, because you start branding yourself from now, yeah? But before that, you need to build an identity that people can relate with. Koagile, how have you
how
positioned
have you
yourself?
positioned yourself?
Okay.
Sunday and
Sunday,
Georgina, you can also tell us.
you can
Yeah.
also tell us. Yeah.
Koagile?
Okay.
Kwagile?
Yeah, for me, I have a film company. So like for now, I have 20,000 followers on TikTok, and like my videos have reached around 100K views because I train actors. I also do script writing. Like I train script writers. So like for me, it's a brand wise. I didn't
Yeah.
brand myself much
Yeah.
individually.
You don't brand?
You don't?
I didn't work on my brand individually. It's more into a company. Like I've branded my company more than myself individually.
Exactly. But you
Exactly.
as a
Yes.
But you
person,
as a person,
don't you think there are some
don't you think
services you
there's
can
some
offer
services you can offer
that your company
Yes,
does
that your
not
that
company does
offer?
not offer?
yes, they're there because like I used to be an actor. Like I'm one of the famous actors here in Botswana. So, but at the end, like I have stopped doing some acting jobs and other stuff to focus on developing my film industry here. So, like I've been more focused on branding other actors, branding other scriptwriters, and helping them.
Okay, so
Okay,
it's
so
a
it's
deliberate
a
choice.
deliberate choice.
Yes. So, but home
Good job.
soon, yeah, I
Good
will
job.
focus on myself soon.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah,
Because what
good
I'll
job.
tell you,
Because
Yes.
an
what I'll
advice
tell
for
you,
you,
an advice
Koagile,
for you, Kwagile,
Yes.
you can switch off your
you
mic so
can
I
switch
give you
off
the
your mic so
advice,
you
because I think we're having an echo. Yes, so what I'll give you as an advice, Koagile, is that in this industry, it's very difficult to survive. And so if you know that you as a brand, you also have some people who really believe in you, Then you can also develop yourself as a different product and your company as a different product, as long as they both don't interfere with each other, because it just creates more opportunities for you guys. And that's a good thing. And as I said, you can choose to brand a company, so you're right, or you can choose to brand yourself as a consultant as well. So with all the experience you've garnered in your life, you can even become a manager or something else for other people, artists. So there's a lot of things that you could look around and make a deliberate decision to start branding yourself in that way and see whether some income will start coming your way from that perspective. Georgina is saying, yes, my friends, family, and social media know what I do. Yeah, Georgina is really good at branding herself. She always, when she's featuring in an advert, she will put it on your face. Even Cosmas, when he featured in a movie, he put it on Facebook and I saw it. So it's good for us to keep branding ourselves so that we can know. Like today, you've just branded yourself, Coagile. We've just known you have a company, so we are going to look for you. We are going to look for your page and we are going to see how we can work together. You're understanding my point? So you find when people don't know what you do, they don't want to partner with you because they don't know that you have something that they need. Okay, so you have to start branding yourself, because what we do at YFP Africa, we don't like teaching people who are just going to be employees. And as I always said, I hate it that in Africa the colonialists brought to us colonial education that teaches people how to be employees, not how to be bosses, but how to be employees. And that to me is really offensive to our culture and our brilliance as African people. We need to step it up and start becoming the bosses we are. We are so good, we are so creative. But if we brand ourselves properly, we'll get some jobs. Let me give you a good example. I met a friend of mine. I'll just show you how branding works. I met a friend of mine in 2006 in Lamu, and we were talking with him, and at some point we lost contact, but he's my Facebook friend. So he continued to see my posts, what I'm doing, and everything. We reconnected in 2011, then we stopped talking again. Then we reconnected again in around 2019. So in 2019, this guy said, there's someone I'd like you to meet who I think can be, important for the work that you're doing, because you're doing a good job. And do you know who that person was? It was Chris and Roberta Hanley, big Hollywood producers that he actually knew and that he actually introduced me to. I went and stayed in their house. And it's because of that reason that we're going to be able to sell the movie Wounds. Now, do you see how branding works? It works because when people continue to see your consistency, they see that you're to be trusted. You build a trustworthy brand. And I'm sure, and I always say this, and I've always had this from YFP students. Most of them tell me that as much as YFP is a big brand on its own, by Rachel, the brand being in YFP Africa, it improves the brand of YFP. It makes people, even makes you guys want to be taught by me because of the brand I've built, the consistency, the not giving up, and all that. It inspires some people, and that's why they want to join. Obviously, the person who founds a company is a very big push for the company. When Steve Jobs started Apple, he was a big motivation. When we think about Microsoft, as much as there's a new CEO, Bill Gates already resigned a long time ago, but it's still his company. When we think about Microsoft, there's that person that inspires us, and that's Bill Gates. And that's why we want to see how is your personal brand. And what I want to tell you, Coagile, that your personal brand can actually add value to your business. Not only your personal brand, but even the brand of the people who work in your company. Let's say you're the cinematographer or director or writer, and then you have a great actor, you have other people that you're working with. All those people coming together, each one of them add value to the brand of your company. Do you agree with me, Coagile?
Yes, true that, because even when you are doing proposals, they will want the bio of people who are working with you, so it can also add value to your company.
Exactly. And that's why you need to make it a requirement, even for people who work with you, to have a good brand, right? You not work, can you work with somebody who raped someone?
No, ma'am.
Because it's gonna be detrimental to your brand, right? Or you can't work with a thief because it's gonna, you know, touch on your brand. So you find that it's a deliberate thing. You need to just start thinking of your brand. Who are you? What are your personal values? What do you believe in? What are you bringing on the table? What is the solution? If you can't be able to do a personal brand as you, as a person, as an artist, then even in your company, you're not going to be able to brand your company properly. So please work on that, guys. I'm hoping after this class, this will inspire people to even like start monetizing the skills that they're getting already in this class. All right. So once you've defined your brand, how do you get the word out there? Okay. So we've said you need to get a great logo, and you need that logo to reach as many eyes as possible, right? That's one. How you're going to do that, it's your own business, whether you're going to put it on your WhatsApp status or wherever. So that, by the way, do you know the moment you develop a logo in your name, do you know you just go to the next level automatically? How would you feel if today you're looking at Rachel Wainaina and you're seeing her logo? Don't you think that comes with some respect? Yeah, that comes with a lot of respect. So the moment you have that logo, it comes with a lot of respect. So the other thing you need to do is write down your brand messaging. So what are you going to be, what are the messages you're going to be pushing with your brand? So again, it's like what we were doing in the beginning when we talked about the campaign. So you need to be deliberate about what you're messaging about your brand. Is it quality? Like, I think if you've looked at my Facebook recently, I've adopted the strategy of not marketing YFP directly, but showing the quality work that we've been shooting, showing the quality people that we've been working with. So it's deliberate. That's what I'm doing. Definitely, if you follow me on social media, that's what you'll see I'm doing right now. It's because the kind of clients I want to pitch, I want them to know these things that are standing out about us, that are separating us from other people. I want them to know that when they give me a production, it's going to be high quality. It's going to include different talents from different parts of Africa and the world. That's how I want to people to see. So the messaging is very, very important. And that's why you see me putting small clips, but of well-lit scenes and good acting, good directing, just to show how much attention we pay to a product when we are producing it. It's deliberate. Again, I will remind you 100 times that it's deliberate. So we need to look at every aspect of the business. We need to market all the products in the business, and you need to know who is the brand ambassador in your company. That is the voice for your brand. For instance, guys, if you look at YFP Africa, who is the brand ambassador for YFP Africa? Who's the person that carries that brand?
Madam Rachel.
Exactly. So it's clear that I'm the brand ambassador. Though I'm not alone in YFP Africa, we are a big team. I have a board and all that, but we've already known this is the voice, and we've built the brand and the trust in that person. When that person speaks about the brand, everybody listens because people already know there's one voice. So you can't have so many people speaking about your brand. And depending on how you grow in your company, sometimes you're going to need to have other influencers coming on board to add their voice to it, or you can do that. Then, of course, you need a tagline. We talked about this. You need a memorable, meaningful tagline. Like as at YFP Africa, we have this tagline. And even our mission, people really know it. So our tagline is, we don't teach our students how to make a film, our students make a film. If I'm selling my brand as Rachel, I have to have a tagline, you know. If you're selling your brand as a service company, you need to have a tagline. When you're selling Film Village of Kenya, you have to have a tagline. So for example, let me just use another one. Film Village of Kenya, our tagline is usually living film. And it's actually something that really catches your attention and you want to know what is Film Village of Kenya doing. And it's the same. So when you go to the different things, even if you're a person as a consultant, what's your tagline? That's very, very important. Then, of course, you need to develop some branding material like posters, things, so that you can start getting your brand out there. And you need to live your life according to your brand. So you can't be dancing naked on TikTok and you're calling yourself a CEO. All right. So you need to just do what your brand communicates. If you say your brand respects children, then you're holding alcohol bottles and everything, then that goes against your brand. So be true to your brand. Customers won't return to you if you don't keep your brand. Again, that's very important. So again, you need to keep, like when you say we offer quality or we don't teach our students how to make films, our students make films, you need to live that. I hope YFP lives to its true calling. You're able to get some practicals even when we're doing this online, because that's the true calling. You're constantly in the process of making a film. Like right now, all of you are writing your film that you'll pitch. This is a real thing. The film we pick is the film we'll continue to develop. All right. So again, even the way we teach goes with that mission. We teach only one day a week, and the other days is the days to concentrate on the practicals, because that's our goal. Again, that helps you to convince your clients that whatever you said you're going to give them is the truth, because you live according to your brand. The other one is you need to be consistent. Consistency, I cannot insist on that more. Consistency is very, very important. Let people see that you have passion, that you believe in your brand, and that you continue to believe in it and you continue to develop your brand even better. I was posting the same messages on 2007 that I'm posting today. So people have seen truly this person knows what they want. They know who they are. And when they post something, we can take it seriously because they've stayed in the same area. So what's the importance of branding? One, it provides good reputation. If you have a good reputation, customers will actually trust you. And if people are looking to give you reviews, when you have a good branding, people will review you positively, because it means you've written it on paper and you have been living it. So people will when you have a good reputation, it's easier for you to survive, to get more customers. You'll attract more customers. Number two, the other thing is you will acquire customers easily, as we have said, because people will trust you and see that you've taken yourself seriously. Imagine if YFP does not have a website, and then maybe you're following us from Zambia and you want to know about YFP. We don't have a website. We don't have any paperwork with our logo. Nothing you can read. So how are you going to join this program? Again, it's easier for people to work with you when they can find information about your brand, see your testimonials. We have testimonials on our website and everything. It's so easy when people trust you for them to give you business. Number three, it also increases profitability. When you get more clients, then you get more profitability. Also, you're able to charge good prices depending on your brand. If you are a big brand, an influencer, obviously nobody will want to oppress you in terms of the price. They'll know they're dealing with a brand. I always tell people, there's one thing I always tell my clients, and this is something that's very important. I tell my clients, get me out of my house and get me back to my house. And I always ask myself, how many people can say that? How many people can say that? They can ask their clients, get me out of my house, get me back to my house. But when my clients want to be funny, I always ask them one question. If you want somebody to take a matatu or a public transport to come and, work with you, it's okay. But that's not me. Definitely, you can take a less experienced person than me. I've not been working for 17 years so that you can tell me to take a matatu to come and listen to your business. You get my point? So again, you're able to charge better when actually you actually like do this, you're able to charge better. So number 4, increase business value. So when you have bigger brands that you're working with, it increases the amount of money that people can trust you with, even for your business. So that's very, very important. So the business value goes up because you're able to get good jobs, and it's able to make your success in your company much better. So also it helps you in facing competition, because when you're pitching, you can then say our company is reputable, we're working with great team of people, we've delivered high quality products before. Then you're able to compete, because when you're competing, it's about what do you have to bring that your competition is not bringing. Again, it helps you in facing competition when you're very well branded. Also increases productivity of employees, because employees are more motivated to work with brands that are established, because they are getting something for themselves. For instance, they are getting the opportunity to say that I worked with Rachel Wainaina for 10 years. So by associating with your brand, they're also able to build their brand, and they're also able to gain trust with by using your brand, and also using your, like if you say I've been working with YFP Africa and YFP Africa has a good brand, then it gives you a chance of getting a good job in a particular place where you're looking for a job as well. So it increases productivity of employees, because employees get more encouraged that they're working for a well-known brand. And that's why you see most people, like in Coca-Cola, continue performing because they found a very big brand, and that brand is very good for their CV. So if your brand has nothing to offer its employees, then they will not be motivated to work with your brand. Also provides distinguished identity. So it creates a list of expectations that your customers put on your brand, and gives you a different identity. Remember, one of the best business marketing techniques is by word of mouth. So if people interact with your brand and they like it, they're going to recommend it to other people. Let me give you an example. Kachomba and Nachoka, you were referred to YFP Africa by Michael, right? So by the time we interacted with Michael, if we messed up with our brand, you wouldn't be here, technically speaking. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Very true.
Exactly. So you find that customers will go and speak about your brand. So how you treat people in your brand, they will identify in a particular way. So I think that even how we treat you will determine how many more students we'll get from Zambia, because the ones that Michael actually referred are the ones who committed to the class. I got 6 students from Zambia, but the ones who were already told by the person who was there to come into the program are the ones who are still here today, and they're performing very well. Now, do you get to see how important that is? So there's a particular identity that you get with your clients after actually really, looking at all these aspects where how you've been relating with your clients before. So also it promotes advertising, and that's what I've said. People will speak about your business, and people will bring more other clients to your business if you do a good job. Supports business during crisis, because your brand is up, and people will always come, like, talk for your brand based on the experience they've had with your brand. And also it increases the pride of the employees, as we've said. So that's very, very, very important. I hope that is clear to you guys. So that's importance of branding, and it helps you a lot as you're going on your day-to-day activities, planning to brand yourself. And I'm going to tell you more. When you're actually coming up with the logo, because we've said one of the branding tools is the logo. It's like your identity. You see, like the way you have a profile picture on YouTube, on Facebook. I think you should go to my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, and you'll see I have my cover photo designed. I also have my logo. Also, if you go to my official Facebook page, which has 2,800 followers, not my profile, you'll see that my profile picture is my logo as Rachel Wainaina. So people who look for me in terms of business, that's the page I want to use. Actually, I've not been posting anything, but that page already has 2,800 followers. Okay, it's because I've been planning what will I be posting in that page, and in that page I've written my name as an entrepreneur. So I'm still coming up with a content strategy for that page. So characteristics of a logo: it has to be aesthetically pleasing, and it has to be very good concept. You have to think about the concept and make it clear, very, very clear. It needs to have some creativity that looks like, hey, you're so clever. It defines what kind of service you can offer to someone. It has to like, I love this statement, aha moment. Like when I look at that logo, I'm like, wow, I want to know more about this brand. So you have to take time to design that logo so that it is nice. And it also need to be scalable in size. It can fit on Instagram, it can fit on different platforms. You need to have different formats, PNG, PDF, different formats, just so it can fit anywhere, especially because you're going to partner with some people and they're going to put your logo somewhere in a poster or something. So it needs to be something that can be working. Also, if you're putting your logo in videos, it needs to be on PNG format. So you need to have all these different sizes. And again, as I said, you can design your logo using free apps like Canva, and you'll get a very good logo for your company to begin with, or for your brand. Okay, so works in color and no color. That's very important, and it needs to stand the test of time, can easily fit into a circle or square for web use, and can be animated. So you need to be thinking about those things. So you need to determine your audience, define your brand, brainstorm, check out the competition, keep it simple, pick the right font, and pick your colors. Very important things in logo is picking the right font and color that represents you. Sometimes you can pick some fonts and colors that actually misrepresent you, if you know what I'm saying. So some colors are just too shouting, and some font is indented and doesn't paint you as a serious person. So you need to choose the right font and keep it simple, stupid. Logos, when you complicate them, and any design in art, when you try to complicate it, it becomes worse. So you just need to be very careful. How are you branding these things? So again, we said branding is a continuous process. And when we finish, you need to come back and check these apps and softwares for logo creation. You need to start. That's why I say, as much as you're learning filmmaking and you're learning film business, you need to know that that's not the end. You need to learn a few apps and these things so that you can be independent and be able to create your brand. Can you hear me, guys? I hope you didn't lose me at any point. Did you?
We can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, there's some apps, and those are the apps. I would advise everybody to learn Canva. I've been using Canva. Any poster you see, even the poster I posted, me and Michael, I just created it on my mobile phone, and I was able to actually do the poster for free using Canva app. Again, these are things that I learned during the COVID-19 time, when you couldn't even afford to pay someone to do this, and you need to push your business forward. Again, you've got to be very deliberate. You've got to know that you can survive without money. So once you know these apps, they are very good. They'll help you in logo creation to be able to do that. All these are logos, as you can see. That's the logo for Canva, for Adobe Illustrator, and for all these Ibis Paint and all these other apps. Again, those are examples of logos just right there on your screen. And those are the apps. You need to choose one app and see which one works better for you. Again, these apps work like editing software. So whatever is good for another person might not be good for another person.
Can you kindly show the logos again?
Okay. Are you seeing them? Are you seeing them? Kachomba?
Kachomba?
Yes, madam. Thank you so much. I have screenshot.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
Okay, and you can always come back here and actually be able to pick all this. So this is very important. And then brands and brands management, brand management is when you create a brand, that's not the end of the process. And I'm speaking to you as a former communications specialist in Plan International. And that means I've been managing communication in a big organization, right? An international organization as a staff member. And I'll tell you that brand management is very important because sustaining a brand is harder than creating a brand. And I'm sure now you agree with me. When you're a brand, it's about sustaining the brand, working to grow the brand. And so you need to consistently sustain that brand. Okay. So brand management is a function of marketing, uses the techniques to increase perceived value of a product line or a brand over time. So you need to continue increasing that value. In effective brand management will enable the price of products to go up, and also it will help you to build loyal customers through positive brand associations. And that's why you'll see most people will have a section where they say drop your review, even if they are giving their house or hotel for booking.com. They'll have a place where they'll say please send your positive review, and that will increase business, because other people go to booking.com and want to book the same hotel or anything. They will look at what other people's experience was with that brand. So remember, if you are a brand or you're managing a brand, it has to be sustainable. You have to continuously keep improving and building on that brand. And you need to develop a strategic plan to maintain brand equity and gain brand value. So this is something that Coca-Cola has done well. They made sure Coca-Cola is always on our face, everywhere. They make sure they give these fridges to the shopkeepers in the village, which have Coca-Cola branding. So even as you walk in your village and you go to any shop to buy anything, you see Coca-Cola. That's how they've maintained their brand presence. You can't run away from Coca-Cola. It's everywhere. It's on TV. It's on DSTV. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, literally. You'll see a banner of Coca-Cola. You'll see things about Coca-Cola. So they're really careful with their brand, and that's amazing. Then you also need to know that a brand, if you're the one managing your brand, that means you're your own brand manager. Sometimes some people can hire a brand manager depending on how big the brand is getting. Like I personally have been thinking of hiring a brand manager for the brand Rachel Wainaina, because I feel like the brand is outgrowing being managed by myself. And so at some point, to book me for anything, you'll have to talk to my manager, who is the brand manager, to manage this. One of the people I would give as a very good example with his brand is Diamond Platnumz, from Tanzania, the CEO of Wasafi. This guy has an incredible team that actually manages him. They brand him properly. They make sure that we know, okay, he's the CEO of Wasafi. He's also an artist. He's performing in different countries. He's in Nigeria. He's doing this. So a brand manager is tasked with managing tangible and intangible properties of a brand. So the tangible aspects of company brand include the product's price, packaging, logo, colors, and lettering format. And their role is to analyze how a brand is perceived in the market by taking intangible elements of a brand into account. The intangible characteristics of a brand build brand equity. So they also check on that just to make sure that even when let's say something is written about you, it represents your brand. It takes your brand out there. There's a logo, there's a photo, there's something that takes your brand out there. So, is there any question about branding? I have said it in a very summarized way, and I'm seeing that time is not on our side. So, I'll just introduce communication skills a little, And then we are going to continue next Saturday to work on this, because today we are not going to be having an afternoon class. So as I said earlier, we're just going to have this one class, these two classes today, due to unavoidable circumstances. So I want to say this. I think we've already identified, is branding a communication skill? I want to see whether you guys have been listening. Is branding a communication skill? Guys, are you listening to me? So is
Yes,
branding a
madam. Yes.
communication skill?
Yes, it is.
So
It
it is a
is.
communication skill because you're speaking. Yeah, you're speaking to
Yeah,
your
it is.
customers, you're speaking to people. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
reason why
So
I
the reason why
arranged the
I
presentation
arranged
in
the
this.
presentation in this.
Thank you, Cosmas, for the
Thank you,
feedback. I
Cosmas, for the
always feel good
feedback.
when
I
you
always
guys
feel good when you
answer. Yeah. So when you guys answer and we make it interactive. So yes, we have identified branding as a communication skill. And the reason why I should have come to communication skills first, but the reason why I reversed my communication like that is to make you understand that you're a brand. So even as you're communicating, you need to understand that your communication needs to be in line with your brand. Okay? So what is communication skills? It's a skill that allows you to understand and be understood by others. This is when you're talking. It doesn't matter how you're talking, but can you understand what others are saying, and can you be understood by others? That's communication skills. These can include, but are not limited to, effectively communicating ideas to others. So you need to be able to communicate your ideas to others. Have you ever seen a very smart person, but when they open their mouth to speak, they always are their own first sabotage? The way they talk, it puts people away because they don't have emotional intelligence to understand the people they are talking to, and therefore they lose opportunities because of the way they talk. So communication skills help you to effectively communicate your ideas to others. Also, actively listening, which is very important. Be able to listen to what those people are saying and understanding what they're saying. You need to give critical feedback to people, and you also need to receive that critical feedback. And sometimes in communication, you might find yourself doing public speaking, meaning you're going in front of many people and you're making a presentation. That's what exactly you're going to be doing by end of June when you're presenting this. So examples of communication skills include active listening. Are you really able to listen to people when they're talking, or are you the kind of person who comes into a room with the mindset that only my word is final? These other guys are stupid. There's nothing I can listen from them. So do you actually listen when other people are talking? Do you give other people time to talk? Listen, and how do you give your feedback? I'm sure we've all been in social settings where we had a weird moment because of the way people give their feedback. There's a way you could give your feedback and people respect you, and there's a way you'll give your feedback and people will judge you, and they'll not even actually want to deal with you again. So again, it's about that active listening. That is what will make you be able to communicate your ideas. So you need some of these skills. Also, you need to know your audience. As I've said, when you're speaking to different audiences, you speak to them in different voices. So let me tell you an example. I'm a person who transforms. Is it like morphing? Right now, I'm talking to you guys. I'm a bit casual, right? Then I'll be talking to a CEO, a government CEO, or a corporate CEO. Then I'll change and I'll be very formal. Even the way I dress to address whoever I'm supposed to dress for. The way I talk with my loved ones is very different, and the way I will talk to in a public place is also very different. When I'm giving a speech, There's a way I will talk about that. And when I go to, let's say, a place where diplomats are and those kind of people, I'll even change my English accent a little bit so that they can understand me. I'll try to have less accent because they won't get clearly what I'm saying. Also, communication can be verbal or non-verbal. Do you guys agree that? Like, communication can be non-verbal and verbal. I hope you guys know that. There's somebody who said one day, dress the way you want to be addressed. That's a communication. Already when you're walking into a meeting and you are underdressed for the meeting, depending on who you're meeting, already you've communicated that you cannot be trusted. It's that simple. You need to dress for the occasion. For each occasion, you need to dress. You need to walk like you need to walk in that occasion. You need to behave like you need to behave. That is what you call non-verbal communication. When you don't understand protocol, for example, like when I go to some of these meetings, they are very high end. So you're eating with fork and spoon. The big question is, do you know how to eat with fork and knife? Do you know which hand, is it left or right, that should be holding the knife? And which one should be holding the fork? Do you know are you the kind of people who will eat the paper towel that has been put there for you to wipe your hands? Or have you researched? Are you ready to actually communicate with these people? Because you need to go to where they are so that you can be able to communicate with them. So again, you need to really know that there's non-verbal communication and there's verbal communication. Even in the way you're dressed, the way you're walking, it tells about your confidence. The way you smell, if you smell bad and you've gone to make a presentation, believe me, no matter what you say, nobody is going to give you money. So it's small things that are very, very important. Also, how much are you going to talk when you're making your presentation? You need to have some class depending on who you're presenting to. Again, how much of your presentation are you going to show these people? If especially you know this is the US Embassy I'm pitching. So these guys don't need to know anything about the money first. They just need to know the total figure. They need to hear about the objectives. And so you just choose a part of your presentation to present to them because you know what they're looking for. All right. And then when you go to speak to these other people, you speak to them in a different way. So you change, you're like metamorphosis. You're changing according to the situation where you find yourself in. And you're fitting into that space without looking different or without having to tell people to pity you because you're not used to that kind of thing. In business, there's no excuse. You just have to treat yourself to rise up the occasion and do the business you need to do. And that's a very important point. So active listening is good. Adapting your communication style to your audience. Also, you need to be friendly. I don't know whether you've ever seen people who are not friendly at all. Like when they come to talk to you, they just come straight to the point. They don't say hello. At least have in communication skills, what I've learned is like when I go somewhere, I have a light moment. Even just like when we started today, I think it was Nachoka. Nachoka, you said hello to me, right? I asked you whether it's raining in Zambia. It makes easier when you've started having that conversation because it's like friendliness. You're all friends at the beginning, so you're starting to talk. You're trying to show that, oh, how are you doing? You might be talking to someone who you don't know how they're doing. It's important to show concern for that point of friendliness, and that is very important. And confidence. I've already spoken about confidence, and confidence is inspired a lot by how prepared you are for that presentation, how you're dressed, how you smell, all these things, and how, like how ready you've been for this. You have to be ready psychologically for a presentation before you go, and how you're going to give your feedback, how you're going to receive your feedback. What volume are you going to use when you're making a presentation? Volume makes sense. If you go and you're saying, so I'm doing this project, and then nobody will believe in you. I remember, I think it was Kachomba who was presenting something, and everybody commented on our weekly classes. They said Kachomba has confidence, so we would give him another chance just because he has confidence. when he's presenting, and that's a very big plus. When you have confidence, people are going to listen to you. So when you don't have confidence, then nobody thinks you have the guts and you have what it takes to do this. Then giving and receiving feedback, volume and clarity, empathy. Empathy is when like somebody says something and you can totally feel like they're misinformed or something, and you just like empathize with them. Don't come at them and say, do you know what you're doing? Did you even hear what you said? You're just like being rude to people. You need to be empathetic, agree to disagree, or disagree in a very gracious way when you're talking to people. And then respect. This is very important. Respects include giving someone else an opportunity to talk, not only you talking. Two, it includes listening to their views, appreciating their views, and all that. And I've already talked about the nonverbal cues. When you're presenting to people and you can see somebody's already resisting you, don't try to also resist them. Just try to understand nonverbal communication from your side, and from you can even go to a meeting and not connect with someone. But this is business. You've got to overlook that and actually be able to pitch your business, because that's the most important thing you're looking for. And responsiveness, you need to be able to include the people you're talking to, like the way we are doing. Make your communication very interactive. That means it's not you talking at people, but it's you talking with people. Guys, can you write this down? It's very important. I always make this my philosophy when I'm communicating. I hate to talk at people. I have learned this the hard way. Initially, I didn't have this habit. I used to talk at people, and that's why I believe I'm a better teacher now, because I don't talk at people. I talk with people. Always ask people, are you okay? Are you understanding? What's your view? And when people give you their views, listen to their views, value their views. Don't bash people's views. It's very, very important. So when we come next time, we are going to move on from there. I think you've gotten some bit of this. So I'm going to be looking at this interpersonal skills. There are different types of communication skills, which is interpersonal skills. Like when you go to maybe a place and you want to interact with people, how do you relate with those people? How do you communicate with those people? I'm just showing you. I'm also going to look at how you can improve those interpersonal skills, which really lead us to be better communicators. And I know, especially for the introverted people, most artists are introverted. So they tend to be very flat, and they tend to have a communication problem. So it's very important. So we're also going to look at how you structure your presentation, and presentation skills are very important. How do you open a presentation? We're also going to look at report writing, which is after you've worked with these people, how are you able to write a report? Because in everything you do that is funded, you always need to write a report. And then we're going to look at how you format the report elements, which are very important, because they represent your brand. They show how good your brand is. We're also going to look at how you present your report. So you can see this is a long subject. And we're going to look at business writing, that is instructional, informational, persuasive, and transactional. How can you write this so that people are able to be closed by your business? We're also going to look at principles of good business writing. So all this is part of communication skill. Then we're going to finally look at public relations, and this has to do with still managing the image of your brand. And we're going to look at the tools of publicity that you can use for managing your brand, and the PR, the communication objectives. We're going to look at types of public relations. We're going to look at different things, and you can see it's a long topic, which you can't finish today, because communication skills are very important. The most important thing I hope you've gotten from this class, that it's very, very important, and we cannot take it for granted that actually communication skills are just important. They're just important. You see contracts and all those. All this is communication. This is something that can even get you taken to a court of law if you do not keep to this. So these are very, very important things that you need to do, even how you manage a contract and all that. So again, you're learning this in a filming class. Isn't that a wow moment or an aha moment? Because I feel like if you learn this in a film class, yes, you're able to sell your film, you're able to lock business. And people ask me, why do IFP students succeed? They succeed because of such things, because they have basic life skills to survive in the industry. And they're able to know all that. And that's where now you see where we were talking about pitching and all that. So basically, next Saturday, same class structure. We'll have more 3 classes next Saturday to look at this. So I hope you've enjoyed the class, and now I'm ready to take your main takeaways from this session. Please do give me your main takeaways. Let's start with you, Kachomba, and then we move to Koagile, and then we move to Nachoka, and then Mutheki. Thank you. So Kachomba, give me your main takeaway. And then for the guys on social media, kindly also give us your takeaway. That is Sunday and Georgina. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Kachomba.
Uh, can you people help me clap for the madam for this wonderful class? I just want to clap. Like, I'm grateful for this opportunity. It's really good to be in this class. I personally thank God for you, Madam Rachel. I'm grateful that I'm one of your students, because I'm from learning hospitality now. I can work in any hotel. I can work there because I've learned. In the morning class that we had, you were teaching about us about pitching. Yeah, so you taught us how to prepare a longer pitch, which you taught us the types of markets and all that. So I will just say a little bit about pitching. You get better in pitching as you continue to pitch, and you will improve your pitching from the feedback that you get from the clients. So they'll actually tell you, no, this, and you learn from that. Then you might get a yes or no. And you also mention like consistency. Doesn't mean that when they say no, they mean you should stop. No. Then how to prepare a longer pitch? You need to have a creative package, of which it contains copyrighted treatment, synopsis, logline, outline. Then I'll leave these others for my friends to say a little bit about those. Then the 5 aspects of businesses. Then we also talked about the market, high-end market, size market, performance, traditional, and low ends. So that is from the morning class that we had. Then this one, communication, branding. Wow, it's really good. You see, most of us, we mess our career up with what we say, because we might think that nobody is seeing what we comment or what we post, but everybody is watching. Like, if they want to work with you, they would actually find out who is behind, let's say, the detective, the role that I'm playing. Who is the detective? Where is he from? How does he relate with people? And they'll visit my profile, or they'll visit my page and look at the things that I post. Like, if they're not happy with it, they will not give me that opportunity. So I've really learned a lot, and I'm grateful. I'll leave these other points for my friends to say, because I can say all of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much,
Cosmas.
Cosmas.
for sharing your feedback with us. I always appreciate when the students really, appreciate the class and really understand. I'll just go quickly and read from Sunday before I go to Coagile. Sunday is saying, my main takeaway from this class is that branding yourself is very important, and your image should represent who you are as a business, and how you look and talk and walk should be a representative of you, of your brand. In communication skills, I've learned to allow others' opinion and to talk with people, not over people. Georgina is saying, sustaining a brand is harder than creating the brand, and communication skills are very important, which are active listening, confidence, respect, verbal and nonverbal cues, etc. Thank you very much. I can see you guys have taken a lot from this class. Now we go back to Coagile. Kio.
I think after this class I will never be broke again. I will never be broke
Yeah.
again. Yeah, because like now from this class I'm considering myself now how I can make money, you know.
Yeah.
Because like I think there's some like I think I've been looking much into my company and like not to consider that okay, like even some service that I offer I can also individually brand myself and also offer those services. I think today it was very fruitful lesson. I learned a lot. And even now I'm trying to like work on other stuff there. Wow. Wow. That's all.
Wow. Thank you so much. I'm very happy that this has given you that moment of reckoning to see how you're going to go about building your brand, and which is great. Then we move to Nachoka. Thank you. Can't wait, by
Yeah,
the way,
so
to
this,
see all of you guys as rich people. I want to see you rich from this class.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so
Nachoka.
from today, I've really learned a lot, madam. The main thing from everything is that we just need to know how to carry ourselves wherever we go. Because if you want to, even when you want to commit to a brand, even the places you reach are going to take people's attention. So you really need to be careful. And this has really been helpful. So from today, I'll be very careful with what I post, even what I like, because I noticed there's a certain celebrity that I follow. If she likes a certain post, I'll look at the post to say, what's the content? So that's how it works. This has really been helpful. Thank you so much, madam. God bless you.
Okay. God
And
bless you
from
too.
here,
Thank you for sharing.
I'm going straight to my profile. I'm going to delete some posts right now.
Oh Lord. Yeah, that's good. That's a good start. That's a good start. Mutheki? Mutheki?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Your main takeaway?
My main takeaway from this class is the importance of building your brand and putting yourself out there so that people actually know what you do, and the importance of communication skills. And I learned that communication skills isn't just about talking to people, it's also learning how to listen and give constructive feedback.
Okay, great, great. Thank you so much, Mutheki, for actually sharing your main takeaways. Thank you, Sunday and Georgina. We've enjoyed having you on YouTube. I think I've really enjoyed this class because it comes naturally to me, because that's one of the things that I'm very good at. So I hope you've taken something away, and I hope you'll come back. Will you guys come back for the next classes next Saturday to finish this whole course? Because you need to attend all of it to actually be great at what you do. This is just like the beginning. So we are going to go back to pitching again and this, so that we can finalize on all the 5 engines and then come back to communication skills. With that said, I expect to see you employing some of these communication skills as you're pitching on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. when you'll be talking to us about your statistics. I expect to see you introducing yourself properly during your pitch with a brand. You get my point, guys? You have to first say, my name is Mutheki Njora. I'm a so and so. I do this and this, and blah 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 blah. You have to like have a introduction, which is not even in the business plan, even before you start introducing those first pages of the business plan. And that is branding, and communication skills will be seen as you present, and we are going to continue mastering this. As I said, it's a process. So I wish you a beautiful weekend. I know you have a big assignment to do from the morning class. Kio, you missed the morning class. You need to go and watch that YouTube video so you can be able to do the assignment. I'm looking forward to see you guys on Monday. So as you present your pitching, not your pitching, but your business plan, the first part, research and development, and also as you learn how to introduce yourself properly, or introduce the brand which you'll be using to make your movie properly. So with that said, I wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. Be blessed and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam, and have a lovely weekend, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Cosmos.